everyone, and welcome to another video on the channel. Thank you for joining us. Please be sure to subscribe if you do like the video. I'm wearing a hat. Why am I wearing this hat? Well, it's because I have just had a shower, so my hair is a bit wet and looks stupid. But without further ado, today's video is going to be on why I support Arsenal and my own sort of individual thoughts on Arsenal and feelings towards the club. Because let's be honest, everyone has their own story behind supporting their football club. Everyone has their own reasons for supporting the football club, and everyone's story and reasons are unique. In no way will this at all invalidate anyone else's story, obviously, but I just think sometimes it's good to get a bit more context around why someone feels the way they do about their football club, why they support them, etc. So it's going to get a bit deep, let's be honest. It's going to be one of those type of videos, but I do really hope you enjoy. And hopefully it gives you a bit more context around some of the views that I do have around the football club and why sometimes I can be positive or negative about certain aspects. But anyway, so I have supported Arsenal my whole life. I had an Arsenal bib placed on me when I was about 3 days old. My dad is a massive Arsenal fan, so obviously that plays a massive part into it. Now, my mum and dad, they split up when I was 3, and we moved from Weymouth to up north near Manchester when I was 6, as in me and my mum, because my mum's originally from Bury. So we moved back up north when I was 6, and that's why I've got this accent. So I'm originally Southern. I always have to caveat that, because loads of people take the mick and say, why do you support Arsenal with that accent? Fine, whatever. I was already supporting Arsenal before I moved up here. So we moved up here when I was 6, and obviously, unfortunately, by that point, the team was ingrained in me. Obviously, when you're 6, you don't really watch every football game, you don't really know what's going on, but I just knew if you asked me, I'd support Arsenal. I'd have Arsenal wallpaper, Arsenal bed sheets, and it was ingrained by that point, so there was no turning back now. So that's the reason I supported this great football club. My experiences within Arsenal Football Club have been vast. Since I was about 3, I think my first game was. I went to the 6 was my first game, because it was in the first season at the Emirates. And I've been to the club many a time to watch games. I've been to loads of away trips, watched us play Burnley, Blackburn, Bolton away. Basically, they're all in the surrounding area. Not only that, I've watched Arsenal at the Etihad. I've watched Arsenal at home as well. So many different games that I've watched for Arsenal Football Club. I've been to the Emirates, I think, 15 times, something like that. So I have actually been to watch games. So I'd like to think that I'm a passionate fan. I'd like to think I'm a knowledgeable fan in the time that I've been obviously alive on this earth. Then you look at the players, because obviously every supporter has their favourite players. Every club has their fan favourites. Now, for me, growing up, Thierry Henry went until I was about, when he left, I think I was 7 or 8. He was my favourite idol player. I remember watching the bus stop celebrations at my dad's of the Invincible season. Granted, I don't obviously remember much of the season. I have gone back and watched quite a few games from that season, so I feel that I'm justified in saying I know a bit about it. But yeah, so Henry was my favourite player up until about 6, and then after that, you're looking at probably Theo Walcott. He took over, was my favourite player until I was about 15, 16. For context, I'm 26 now. And Theo was my favourite player for a long time. I just loved him, loved the way he played, loved how quick he was, loved his goal scoring technique and how he played right wing, and took Henry's number. So that was that. After Walcott, about 16, I had probably a little realisation that the player I actually enjoy the most at Arsenal in terms of their play style has been Santi Cazorla. So since I've matured into an adult man, I think Santi Cazorla probably is my favourite ever Arsenal player. Another player I do really enjoy to watch, at least, maybe not necessarily my favourite player in terms of what he stood for, and well, not what he stood for, I suppose, but the just media drama around him, was Mesut Ozil. I really enjoyed watching him play football. I think he was probably the most creative number 10 that England's ever seen, maybe even the world. In terms of his passing, His passing was unbelievable. Yes, he was a bit lightweight. Yes, he could get shoved off the ball. He had other deficiencies, but his execution of the pass, his weight of pass, is like something I've never seen. Even De Bruyne's not as good. De Bruyne's a bit more punchy in terms of he'll punch you through the lines to get through that pass. Like, he'll power pass him. But Ozil was just pure finesse on the pass. So these are players that I loved, obviously, from my time watching Arsenal Football Club. So, yeah, my thoughts on the team now, I suppose, is a lot of love. I think I've never loved Arsenal more than I do in the last, well, under Mikel. For context, I cried when Wenger left. I never wanted Wenger out. Basically, it was the only manager I'd ever known, and he played really good football, and we were getting top four. I mean, I know it was 8th in the, 6th and 5th or whatever in the last 2 seasons, but I never wanted him to go because of everything he stood for and how much of a good man he is. Unai Emery, I couldn't stand as a manager, I'm going to be honest. He came in, first 5-10 games, he looked all right, but he was never really a lovable personality for me, and he didn't really make me connect with the club more, and the players at the time I really didn't connect with. The Aubameyangs, Lacazettes, Mustafis, etc. I just didn't like that era of Arsenal. Socrates, they're not bad players, but they're just not what I'd call an Arsenal player. An Arsenal player is someone like Santi Cazorla, Martin Odegaard, Aaron Ramsey, Wilshere, that sort of thing, where it's a bit more technical. So for me, I wouldn't personally like that era. I didn't like that era. Then Arteta came along and basically revolutionised the club. He brought it back to what it was sort of in like 2012 at Arsenal, maybe 2011, Arsene Wenger. It had gone a bit stale for a while, and I just love Mikel Arteta now. I didn't really like him as that type of player. He was a bit boring to watch as a player in like 2012, 2011, that sort of thing. He was good, don't get me wrong, but he was never, like, to me, my favourite. He was just a bit bland. But then I watch Arsenal now and I love it. Everything about the club. From Ben White to, I don't know, Gabriel Martinelli. Every club I enjoy. Every club I have a soft spot for. Every player, sorry. The only people that I don't really know about yet is Kepa Arrizabalaga because he's not played much. And Hincapié because he's been injured. So, yeah, no, I love where the club is now. It feels like we're a lot more wholesome as a club. I like what they stand for. Obviously, the club is always first to speak about racial rights. It's always first to speak about LGBT and all that stuff. And that's a really good place from a fan perspective because you know your club's always going to take the moral path, which is always really good. So, yeah, that is my thoughts on Arsenal Football Club. I do hope you have enjoyed. As I said, let me know if you have any questions about my Arsenal journey in particular, or if you have any questions, or you even want to explain in the comments your Arsenal or footballing journey as a fan, because I do think it's an important part that's missed out on. At the end of the day, everyone in the world has their own story as to why they support the football club they support, and I think it's important to address that at times, and I think it's just important to discuss it, and so we can understand each other a bit more. So that's the reason. Also, it's been an international break. There's fuck all on in the international break, if we're being honest. And yeah, so this is my filler, let's say. All right, thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.